Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Bomack, Kathleen and David. I'm Pat with Epic. I think I met you back when I was excavating your lot back at the end of July. My goodness, I can't believe it's only been 3 months. So today we're here, we're going to do a pre-drywall video walk, and I know you've been out several times in this past weekend inclusive, so I'm glad you're visiting. I'm glad you're taking a look at things. But we're going to do a walk around and in through, talk about everything, look at all your electrical, low volt, plumbing, heating. We're going to look at everything and talk about things, and then at the end we'll talk about schedule. I've got this little checklist that I go through. We're going to talk about grading and drainage, gutters and downspouts, elevation, window grids, electrical, low volt, plumbing, mechanical, and then the projected schedule at the end. Something that we're going to talk about briefly is your exterior grading. This is a copy of your plot plan, and if you don't have a copy of this, please ask Kyle for it and he'll get it to you. It'll help you plan your landscaping on the sides and rear. A lot of helpful information, but this dark line showed me the property lines, show us the property lines, and then the footprint of your home, and then all kinds of elevations and information. It tells us how to grade your lot, percentages of slope, what your concrete driveway looks like. I'll have a 3% slope at the top and an 8% at the bottom, very gentle slope on your driveway. This little stop sign symbol tells us how many steps are up into your house or down to your deck. So for example, there'll be 3 steps up to your front porch and 1 step up onto your finished floor. This information in the center is general information. It gives us top of foundation elevation, top of the finished floor, and this is in real elevation. So your kitchen floor is be at 5,396.6 feet above sea level. So when I'm building a 50-foot wide product, a 4095 plan, and so a lot of helpful information and interesting information. There's a little key here at the bottom to guide you through. If you had any questions, just reach out and I'd be happy to answer and talk about anything. But the address of your home, as you're well aware, is 3437 West 154th Place, and you are lot number 48 of filing 24. So with that said, you know, we're going to take a look at things. We're wrapping up the exterior siding this week. As you can see, I've got siders on the house now working. We installed garage doors this week. This past week, I've been through all rough inspections with municipality and third parties. Tomorrow, Thursday, I'll be insulating inside, and my schedule right now is we should be stocking drywall Friday afternoon and moving right into drywall. So the outside will continue to move with the inside. We'll be stocking the roof next week with the roofing tile. Also, we'll be starting the masonry lath and loading the masonry onto the lot, the stone. Everything you see today that's still green board gets stone. All other siding is installed, other than the soffits, which we're doing here today and tomorrow as well. So as you can see here, the windows on your home have 2 vertical grids and 1 horizontal. So with your Colorado foothills elevation, those are the window grids that are on the front elevation. So all front facing windows get 2 vertical and 1 horizontal grid. The garage doors are standard panel with glass lights. Got coach lights on either side of the garage, one on the side of the single stall garage. We installed the corbels today. Also, we've got wires coming out of the soffits in the front, and those are for your LED lights, which the electricians will come back and put those in after paint. We'll do that at electrical trim stage. So we're going to walk around the outside, and I'm going to show you everything outside. Then we'll go inside. We'll start in the single stall garage, then go inside. But we're going to walk around. So this is the front face, and you can see anything that's still green board will get stone. We'll walk around the east side first, down the hill. On the side of the garage, this stub out here, this is where the gas meter goes. We passed gas testing this week, so XL Energy will be out the first part of the week to get the gas meter set so we can get heat going in the house. So this will all be masonry, penetrations. We got a fan vent. On this side of the house, these pipes sticking out here, these are the condensate lines for the air conditioning units, and those mount on brackets on the side of the wall here. We've got 2 air conditioning units in your home. These are the intake and exhaust vent pipes for the furnace. We've got the 220 lines for the air conditioning, and then a service outlet here. This is the other condensing units. We got one low and one high, but they'll both be mounted right in this general location. Up above, we've got the water heater vent and intake and exhaust pipes. The large silver is the kitchen hood vent. And we'll move down toward the service panel area. This sleeve coming out is your low volt wiring. So this is your Comcast, Xfinity, CenturyLink, whatever service provider you have. There'll be a disconnect box here. This is the underground wire coming in from the pedestals. And this is the main electrical panel. And we have sub panel next to it. So in the main panel are the emergency shutoff, the main shutoff. Plus we'll have what we call a couple heavies, maybe the air conditioning, furnace, 220 lines, range, and hot tub will probably disconnect in the main panel. And the sub panel is all the lighting circuits, outlets in the sub panel here. So we got the main electrical distribution system. Come around at the back, right at this back corner. This is the sump pump discharge, which is in the back corner here. This is where your rear hose bib will be. Someone yesterday, or day before yesterday, cut the pipe and stole the hose bib. That'll be reinstalled here probably before the weekend, before we begin masonry. That's hose bib location in the rear. No other electrical on the rear face. Stairs going up. This will all get handrail after the stonework. We just passed all the inspections on the rear columns, all the connectors. That'll all be buttoned up, closed up. Here on the back patio, we've got a waterproof outlet, low. Also up in the ceiling of the deck, there is a switched waterproof outlet per your request. We've got a coach light next to the door. And then on this end, we have a service outlet, plus we have the hot tub pre-wire. That's what this wire here is, your hot tub pre-wire. No other electrical on the back patio. We'll walk up the west side. How many penetrations coming out of this side? I'll show you when we get up the hill. The stone is pretty much going to follow the green board on this side of the house, except when we get up to the top half here. This will take on an angle. We'll slope this with the grade all the way to the front corner. The penetrations on this west side here is we have two sump pumps in your home. This is the front sump discharge, front hose bib, and this is the sprinkler tee. So your irrigation, this is your irrigation. This is where the vacuum breaker will go, and the valve box for all the irrigation will be in the ground right here. So as we move around the front, as I mentioned, everything that's still green will get masonry up between the windows, up the gable, and then we're back to the single stall garage. And we're going to walk in the single stall garage. Bear with me, I'm carrying your electrical mini and your low volt diagram with me, so I'll refer to any options that you've selected. You have not selected any options in the garage, but we do have service outlets on each wall. We do have low volt for the garage door opener. We have a light and a power outlet above in the ceiling of the garage. And then at the owner's entry, we have light switch. This will operate the light in the garage. And we're going to walk to the front entry. So I'm standing on the front porch, and on the front porch we have waterproof outlet. This is the doorbell location on this plan, and we have recessed can in the ceiling above for lighting. And after the entry, we enter into the home in the foyer. And we're going to go back to the owner's entry from the single stall garage for a moment. And as I had mentioned, or you saw here, this is the light switch for in the garage. And as you walk into the owner's entry, we've got a light switch here, and this is on what we call a four-way switch. And these are for the overhead lights in the owner's entry, and you can turn these on and off from 3 different locations. And I'll show you those. So we got the owner's entry overhead lights here that you can turn on. This is the double doors to the study, And as we enter the study, you've requested a ceiling light pre-wire in the center. We also have outlets around the room, and there's 2 switches in the room. And as the doors open wide, then there's 2 switches. One is for the ceiling light pre-wire, and the other is for a half-switched outlet across the room. We put one of these in every room, and that is a half-switched outlet. So half the outlet is hot all the time, or you could plug a device into the outlet and operate from the switch as well. So no other additional electric options in the room. We do have also in the study, there's a T1 pre-wire, and the T1 on the low volt side is a phone and data port. That's on the adjoining to the bathroom wall. We also have in the ceiling of the entry, of the owner's entry, is a wireless access point for internet, for wireless. As you move into the guest bedroom, this is a location, one of those 4-way switches. So you can turn the lights off behind yourself. Then as you enter, you can turn lights on ahead of yourself. We have a traveling light right here outside the bathroom. And then we have the guest bath, and in the guest bath there are 2 switches around the corner here. One is for the light above the vanity and above the tub shower, and the other is for the fan. So we do have tub shower set up, and we've got all shower heads at 84 inches off the floor, which is plenty high for most people. And as we move into the guest bedroom, there are 3 switches around the corner in the guest bedroom. You requested a ceiling light pre-wire, ceiling fan pre-wire. That's why so we could turn off lights behind ourselves in that hallway, ceiling fan pre-wire, and a half-switched outlet across the room. So 3 switches, one's to turn off the hall lights, ceiling fan, and or a half-switched outlet. Walk-in closet, inside the closet, there's a switch for an overhead recess can. And no low volt pre-wires in this room. So we're going to come around to the main entry and foyer. Okay, in the front foyer, here we are in the front foyer. And all of the light switches along the side here, I've got a 4-gang, we call this a 4-gang box, and then a single gang over here. What we've got here is these 4 switches right here. One is for the coach lights on the fronts of the garages, and that's on a 3-way at the owner's entry as well. Then we have the center chandelier in the foyer, and that's on a 3-way upstairs, and I'll show you about that. Then we have the light switch for the step lights going upstairs. Step lights going up, and that's on a 3-way. I'll show you the other end of that. And then we have the hall, and that's the 4-way that I've mentioned. So you can turn these traveling lights on in this hallway from here, on and off from the bedroom, on and off from the owner's entry. Then the separated switch. This is for the LED soffit lights that you've selected. And here's the diagram which I've been given, and we have pre-wire done in the back of the single or on this side. We have one up above the entry, one over each window up high, and then 3 over the garage, centered in the soffit over the garage. So this switch right here operates all the exterior LED soffit lights. I kind of separate that purposely so that you don't turn on and off a switch that you're not trying to. So we've got the porch lights, the recess can on the porch. We have got the center chandelier, we've got the stair lights, and we've got the hall lights where you would need. So it's furthest away would be toward this direction. So in the foyer, we have centered that chandelier as we have in the model, and that's going to center right over this bottom step here. You can see the step lights going up. Step lights come in series of 4. So we got one at the landing, 2 centered in the stair run, and 1 at the upper landing. So as we move through the front foyer into the living area, we got 3-way switches here, and this one turns off the chandelier behind yourself, the entry chandelier, and traveling lights or recessed cans as you move into the kitchen and grand room area. Above, this is smoke detector. Yes, nothing else. So as we move to the entrance of the grand room, we've got three-way for the hall lights to turn the lights off behind yourself, and three-way for the lights in the grand room, or excuse me. We've got entry three ways, one for the front entryway and one from the owner's entry from the two-stall garage, three-way switch. I apologize. So as we move into the grand room, then we've got 4 switches right around the corner. And what we have here are recessed cans in the ceiling. We've got ceiling fan pre-wire centered. And we have the minis on either side of the fireplace, and a half hot outlet, half switched outlet across the room. So as you can see at the fireplace, in the fireplace niches, we've got service outlets below on both sides. Above the fireplace at 75, you've requested power, and we have a low volt conduit, and that comes down, the conduit comes down to your CP location, and that is here in this niche here. So we got conduit for low volt wires to go up for TV connection above the fireplace. Service outlet. We also have in this niche, this box, and this low volt wire is for the fireplace. So that operates the fireplace. Service outlets all around the room. And we have 3, 6, 8 recessed cans, and ceiling fan pre-wire, and 2 mini cans on either side of the fireplace. As we move into the kitchen area, we've got several switches here, and we've got 3-way for the can lights here, and they can turn on and off at the deck exit as well, and I'll show you that. We've got the dining room fixture, which is centered on the patio door and centered on the kitchen. We have the exhaust hood for the range, recessed cans, pendant light, and dining light, all in line center. So we got recessed can over the workspace at the island sink, over the cook space, and then 3 pendant pre-wires over the island. We center those on the island space. And then the dining room fixture. Now, I also have a separated switch here, and this is for the ceiling light pre-wires that you have requested above. I'm going to show you those on the wall. You've requested ceiling light pre-wire above this window, and then 2 here over floating shelves. And as you can see, I've put backing in to help support those floating shelves. And I've centered those in your shelf area at the elevations, at the correct elevations. So this is backing for the floating shelves. We've got horizontal outlets in the kitchen backsplash, as you've requested. Got tile backsplash. These are the under cabinet lights. These wires sticking out are the under cabinet lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all around the kitchen. Centered at the cooktop area, we've got 220 and 110 gas cooktop. Gas piping is in. And then we've got the kitchen hood, and this is the power for the vent for the fan. So we move around here, we've got a double oven cabinet here. This is the 220 power. And then we've got a side-by-side refrigerator freezer with ice maker for, or excuse me, water line for fridge or freezer. I can't recall which one gets the water line. So in the kitchen, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 ceiling light pre-wires. That's 2 over the floating shelf and 1 over each window, and that's switched independently. We've got the switch here. We did put that on a 3-way switch, which is on the, which is also next to the patio door. So at the exit, or this is the ceiling light pre-wire 3-way. So you can turn those wall sconces on or off from at the pantry or here near the exit. We've got 2 double stack switches here. One is 3-way on the kitchen lights, We've got pendants. We've got outside lighting in the soffit. So we've got 4 recessed cans. We also have ceiling fan pre-wire. That's another one of those switches. And then we have a 3-way switch to the outlet in the patio below, which you requested that on a 3-way. Service outlet, barbecue, gas line. And then this is the 3-way to the light in the soffit below the deck. So it operates both from downstairs and upstairs per your request. Also in the pantry, you've requested an additional outlet inside the pantry. That's down here. It'll be below the first shelf. Forgot to point out that low outlet over here next to the patio door, that's your under-counter beverage center power. And all the wires for the kitchen operation, island operation are inside behind the cabinets. And we've got garbage disposal and dishwasher power. And the garbage disposal will operate, the switch will be inside the sink cabinet. So underneath the kitchen sink inside the cabinet, right on the side, will be the switch for the disposal. Power outlets around the island. That pretty much takes care of the kitchen. We're gonna move to the owner's entry at the 2-stall garage. And as you come into the owner's entry, we've got service outlets around the space. We've got closet here, coat closet with open drop area. Got a 3-way switch for lights going through the hallway, which you can turn off behind yourself when you get there. And then this switch box is for these cans in the owner's entry. 3 recessed cans. Then we have a traveler light. I call them travelers as I'm traveling ahead. Powder room off to the left with 2 switches inside. And one is for fan and one is for light above the mirror, and power outlet next to the sink. So we've got fan above the stool, light above the mirror, power outlet. In the 2-stall garage, you haven't requested any additional electrical, but right outside the door, there are 2 switches. One is for the ceiling lights in the garage. And we have 3 ceiling lights, 1 behind the beam and 2 ahead of the beam, plus power for a garage door opener and service outlets on all 3 walls. 1, 2, 3, 4 outlets on the garage walls. Just checking options here very quickly. I have that list with me. And most of the garage will be drywall, but you have not selected the drywall finish or the finished garage. But most of it, all of the ceiling will be drywalled, all the green walls will be, everything adjoining the house will be drywalled. Anything supporting structural members will be drywalled, so about 85–90% of this garage is going to be drywalled. The other switch in the garage here is for the coach lights outside on the 3-way. So either from the front entry or from the owner's entry here at the 2-car is the 3-way switch for the coach lights on the front of the garage. And we're going to move upstairs. But before we do, I'd like to point out your barn door pre-frame request is in. This is all backing for the barn door, future barn door. As we move up the stairs, I mentioned that the step light switch is there next to the entry. And so the step lights are on as you come up, or the chandelier or the chandelier. When you get to the top of the stairs, we've got 3-way switches. One of them is to turn off the step lights, one of them is to turn off the chandelier, and then the other switch is for, again, what I call the traveling lights, and that's the recessed cans down the hallway. Right up at the top of the stairs is a smoke detector. We'll move into the loft. So these lights are on. Also pre-wired low volt. There's wireless access point here at the loft per your request. We've got 2 floor outlets. And those, anywhere I have open rail, I'm still required to have power, so you'll have 2 floor outlets. Those are installed. We've got service around the room. We've also requested in the loft a CP, which is phone and data and cable satellite port with power. We've also requested an outlet at 66 inches, and that's here on the exterior wall. So from the top of the stairs, these 2 recessed cans are going to operate. And here in the loft, we've got another switch for the balance of the recessed cans. Then we move down to the secondary bedroom. So light switch to turn on ahead of yourself, recessed cans, into the secondary bathroom, switch inside for lights above the double lav. Then in the tub shower stool room, there are 2 switches, one for a recessed can above the tub, the other for the for the fan. Linen closet. Here we have bedroom 3, and in bedroom 3, you've requested a ceiling fan pre-wire. So I've got 2 switches inside this room. One is for the ceiling fan pre-wire, and the other is for the half-switched outlet across the room. Service outlets around the room, and no low volt in either bedroom 2 or bedroom 3. We've got walk-in closet with ceiling light in the closet, switch inside. So it'll be rod, shelf. In bedroom number 2, very similar. 2 switches. One is for recessed cans, 4 recessed cans, which you've requested. And the other is for the half hot or half switched outlet across the room. Walk-in closet, again with recessed can in the closet. Now we'll make our way to the master suite. We can turn off lights behind ourselves. Again, turn on lights ahead of ourselves. And as we make the corner, we can turn those lights off behind ourselves. This is the location for the thermostat on this upper floor. And switch to turn on lights above. Excuse me, I passed right by the upper mechanical room. I apologize. This is the furnace and air handler for the upper floor only. The main floor and the basement are covered by the unit in the basement, which we'll look at shortly. There's a door here, and this will be explained to you in great detail at the orientation, but this air handler handles just the 2nd level. Come through to the master suite. We've got laundry room off to the right. Inside there are 2 switches. One is for the lights, the recessed cans, and in the laundry room, you've requested 2 additional recessed cans. You've also requested an outlet at 48 inches, which is right here, right past the doorway. Additional outlet. We have service outlets above countertop height. We got washer and dryer, roughed in, water, drain, power. This is a drain pipe which goes all the way. We do put a washer pan up here, and this drain pipe goes all the way to the floor drain in the basement. Dryer vent goes up through the roof with 220 power. And also we have the attic access located in the laundry room. And you'll be able to see up in the attic, there is a service outlet, a power outlet, and a light. So that would be a pull chain light for service in the attic. So as we enter the master suite, there are 2 switches here. One is to turn the lights off behind yourself, and one is to turn on the light ahead of yourself to enter. We'll go into the bathroom first. So on your left, as we move into the bathroom, we can turn off lights behind yourself. We have recessed cans in the ceiling. We have lights above both vanities. We have a switch for the lights above the freestanding tub. And then we have another switch for the lights in the master shower. And in the master shower, you requested, we've got 3 lights in the master, and you've requested 2 rain heads. These are the 2 rain heads. Diverter valves with standard showers. You've also requested a handheld at this location. So this is the diverter for the handheld shower. Center drain, glass panels, glass doors. Also, we've got the walk-in closet here. Inside the walk-in closet, there's a light switch for 2 recessed cans. You've also requested an additional outlet on this exterior wall, right below the windows. And there's another service outlet at the entry to master closet. Also, one other thing in the master bedroom and master bathroom, you've requested this outlet at 72 inches, and that is installed. You've also requested an outlet in the master stool room, and in the master stool room there are 2 switches as you go in. One is for the fan, one is for the light, and then your optional power outlet is down low. You can see orange spray paint on the floor, and the reason that's there is everywhere in the master bathroom and bedroom you've requested R11 insulation between the master bedroom and bathroom. So everywhere that I've got spray painted on the floor, we'll get R11 bats installed in the walls. So now we move into the master suite, and we've got 4 switches as we move into the master suite. And you requested 5 mini cans in the sleeping area. So there's a switch here for the 5, and they are located 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mini cans. We also have a ceiling fan pre-wire in the center of the coffer. We have a half switched outlet across the room. And the other single switch is to turn off lights behind yourself. Now in the master sitting room, you've also requested 2 4-inch mini cans centered on the doorway. So that is this switch right here as you enter the sitting room. So we've got 2 4-inch mini recesses. We also have low volt request of a CP at 68 inches. Now, you didn't have this on your electrical mini. I don't know if I talked with Kyle or if Kyle talked with you, but we added a power outlet here too. I believe you would want one there. We also put in backing. If you're gonna install a television or some type of equipment here, I put backing in the wall as well. So we got service outlets. Then we've got the master outdoor room. There's 1 single switch here, and that's for the recessed cans in the ceiling of the master outdoor room. Got a waterproof outlet on the wall. 2 recessed cans. That pretty much takes care of the upstairs. And we'll head down and walk through the basement. But as you leave the master suite, turn on the lights ahead of yourself. Through the travelers, you can turn off behind yourself, back on in the hallway, and then operational as we discussed coming up. So we're going to take a pause and we're going to move to the basement. I'm back in the kitchen area. My associate reminded me that I misspoke when we were in the kitchen area about the dining room fixture. It's not centered with the island and other cans because it's centered on the space. So this dining fixture is centered on the space between and centered on the patio door mullion. So it's not in line with the other fixtures and shouldn't be, but it is centered in the dining space, which is the way it should be. My mistake. Now we'll move downstairs, and as we enter the basement area, there are 2 switches here, and that's because you've opted for stair lights going down. Again, we have 1 on each landing and 1 in the run, but we also have overhead lights as we go down. So 2 switches here. Step lights and overhead recessed cam. Then when we get to the bottom of the stairs, we've got 3 switches here. One is to turn on or off the step lights, the other is to turn on or off the overhead lights, and the third one is to turn on lights ahead of yourself in the basement. Now down here in the basement, you've requested some additional power outlets, and we've got one here. Just get my orientation here, bear with me. One here at the base of the stairs. Light switch ahead of yourself. And one around this corner. And one on this side of the stair. 2 on this side of the stairwell. Sorry. So there's 3 additional outlets on the outside of the stairs, inside or standards. So here we are in the unfinished basement. This is the what we call the water tree. This is your main water service coming into the house. Main shutoff. This is the sprinkler tee going up for irrigation. There's a hammer arrestor on here, and that's because sometimes in irrigation lines air develops, and this will prevent from knocking noises that you may hear. It'll relieve that air pressure. So we've got isolation valves. This is the main water going over to the mechanical room. So main shutoff, we call this water tree. This is the front sump. I have 2 sump pumps in your house, as I mentioned outside. One is in the high and one is in the opposite corner low in the walkouts. This is the ejection pipe going to the outside, and this is the outlet for the sump pump that we install. This is a vapor pipe, and we put this, as you're aware, or may not be aware, we put a complete interior drain system in your basement, and that ties into the city's stormwater system, also into our sump pumps, which are just backup systems. But on top of the drain, we also install this 4-inch vent pipe, and it sits on top of the interior drain and goes all the way up through the house, up through the roof. And what that's for is any moisture, humidity, or vapor that comes up through the ground will naturally seek its way into the drain system and will naturally vent out into the atmosphere. So we don't have to, so passively, it just vents any underslab vapor or humidity that may accumulate. On this back side of the stairwell here, this is all of your low volt wiring termination point. And iWired will be installing a panel right here. And this is the power, which also goes into the low volt panel. Also from the basement area, you'll see right above the panel area, we've got this orange tube. This goes all the way up into the attic. So in the event you may want to add something, or some people may want to put an antenna in their attic for a free television, you can run that all the way down here and connect into your low volt box, so that you can either add something in the bedrooms above up through the attic and go through that sleeve all the way down to here. We also have another sleeve, which is a photovoltaic sleeve. And we'll see that in a few minutes here. We've got the main drain system. This is the photovoltaic sleeve, and this goes up into the attic as well. It's just a conduit, so if you would ever want to install a solar system on your roof, when a solar company comes, they have wires that they need to get down into the mechanical area. That would all feed in this unfinished mechanical room, which in a finished basement is normally on this side. So this is photovoltaic conduit. That main sewer stack coming down with clean out. And here we are in the mechanical room. We've got condensate lines coming from the furnace up on the second level. We've got a drain line coming all the way from the laundry room. And so 2 lines from the mechanical room and 1 from the laundry room. This is an anti-scald device which takes the water all the way to your master tub. We're required to put this on because that is an easy faucet for young children to turn on and off. We don't want any of them to get scalded. So this can adjust the water temperature at your master tub. We've got condensate lines for air conditioning. This is the furnace and air handler, which services the basement and the main floor. We've got floor drain with a vent on that drain system that's called a Studer vent. Got your 50-gallon hot water heater with vents going outside, as I mentioned, and we've got service outlets here in the mechanical room. So in the unfinished basement, this is the other sump pit in the rear. This is generally a bedroom, which you may see in other houses. When we finish the basement, we build a box over this and then a bench under the window. This is the hose bib line that someone cut and stole, and we'll get that hose bib on, like I mentioned, probably before the weekend. All of the home runs of electrical coming down and out to the electrical panel. This is the basement rough-in, where when you finish, this is the tub drain, this is the stool, and that is the lab or the sink in the bathroom area. So this is the rough-in for the basement bath. At the patio door is we have two switches here, and one is for the light above the outside on the wall, and the other is that three-way switch going to that ceiling light, which I pointed out outside, and that's a three-way switch up at the kitchen area and down to here, so you can turn that switched outlet in the ceiling from off and on from either location. As we just move around, main stacks coming down, sewer stacks and vents, and that pretty much wraps up your basement. We built this little soffit. There are ceiling lights everywhere, which you'll see, but we covered all of the wires. And this generally falls, when we finish a basement, we have a soffit through here, which is about almost 6 feet wide, about 5 foot 4 inches wide, and that will all be in the soffit. But because we're not finishing your basement, we did protect all of the wires. We wanted all of the wires protected. So that pretty much wraps things up. We'll move upstairs and finish things up. Okay, we're wrapping up. We're back at the front entry, but we're wrapping up, and I want to walk through my checklist. And one thing I didn't point out, but you'll be able to see them because I believe you visit pretty frequently, which I love. And if you see anything, this coming weekend or whenever, just bring items or issues up to Kyle, and we'll be on them in no time. But I didn't see anything that I'm missing. I've walked your house several times for everything, and I don't think I'm missing anything. I don't have anything misplaced, but if I'm mistaken and you see or find something, please just let me know. Something I did not point out were your gutter and downspout locations. Well, right across the street is the same plan and same model as yours. You'll see right where they are. And my gutters have the downspout holes or outlets in them. They'll come back for downspouts here right behind masonry. But you'll see all those locations. But it's identical to the one right across the street. So we did talk about the grading and drainage with your plot plan. And if you have any questions, please ask. Gutters and downspouts, you can take a look at those. Elevate, we talked about the window grids. We looked at all your electrical option locations, your low volt and security. Looked at plumbing and mechanical. Change order, we're too late in the game to make any changes, but just get with Kyle with any questions you may have. And then the last item on my list here is projected schedule. Kathleen and David, right now I'm generally, from this point, from the time I stock drywall, we're generally at about 100 calendar days. But I have the holidays coming up, both Thanksgiving and Christmas, but I feel I'm still going to be right in that timeline. So your house right now is trending on schedule to be ready for you probably early to mid-February. And it probably will move closer to the earlier part of February. But things are moving, and we know I lost a little bit of time on your house, as Kyle may have mentioned to you about some failed sealants, but we corrected that and picked up the pace a little bit. But we'll be insulating tomorrow, Thursday the 5th, and stocking drywall this weekend. Drywallers may show up and start hanging drywall this weekend, so if you do come out, just be careful and be aware. But love to have you at any time, and any issues, just give us a shout. It's been great building your house, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you both.